Okay, here we go. So I have my scale. And the important thing is that you put your bowl on the scale before you turn it on. On the bottom of my scale, I have kilograms, pounds, grams, and ounces. And I prefer to use grams. If you want to use cups, you can convert grams into cups. So for my starter, I use 113 grams. This is Fonda. Here she is. She's all beautiful. I'm going to start by pouring 113 grams into the bowl. Here's the thing. If it goes up over 113, which for whatever reason, it always likes to do 122, I don't panic. I'm really looking for consistency. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add my water. And I like to use bottled water. I don't know why, but it's 340 grams, which is 12 ounces. So I'm going to turn that off and turn it back on so it resets to 0. That makes my life easier. And again, I'm gonna be doing 340 grams of water. Again, if it goes over a tiny bit, that's fine, because we can always kind of change the texture of that bread. 143 grams of water. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn that off, and I'm going to turn it back on and put 20 grams of salt, which is equivalent to 0.7 ounces. Zhuzh, you know we love a good zhuzh, until I hit 20 grams. Oh no, 21. Don't panic. After I turn it off, I'm gonna begin stirring it. I just wanna get that starter to mix in really nicely with my water and salt. From there, I'm going to add in 567 grams of flour. And as you do this more and more, you're gonna notice your starter starts smelling more sour, hence sourdough. It's nice and mixed. And then I'm just gonna pop this into the sink because I prefer to use my hands. Adding in my flour. Keep the bowl on so it doesn't weigh the contents in the bowl, and make it to 567 grams. If I were you, and I'm not, this is the way I would do it. So I'm going for 567 grams. That's a lot of flour. And if I go over a little, I don't panic.
Hey, it's happening.
574. I'm okay with that, but if you're not, you take your cup, and now it's 564, and I need 567. 567. There, now I like to start from the outside of the bowl because the goal really is just to get all of that flour mixed. So I'm turning the bowl and I'm mixing it into the flour. Water that's left over, you see just a tiny bit, in the event that I feel it needs more moisture. Now, if you don't add any more, it's okay. If you do, it's okay. You will get to know it better and better. It's basically, I feel like every time I do it, I'm winging it. So this is what I mean by shaggy. See how it looks kind of shaggy? That's normal. That is a beautiful thing that we get to make for our family. And if you just follow these steps, you're gonna have a beautiful look. Period. There are a lot of people on TikTok, there are a lot of people on Instagram that talk about stretch and fold. Now, what is a stretch and fold? It's ultimately kind of reorganizing the dough so that it will produce more gluten. And what that can do when you open that gluten up is it allows the bread to get a bit bigger. So if you have denser loaves, meaning that it's a little firmer, that's probably because you didn't stretch and fold. Now there is this thought that what you can do is put a little bit of like, I like to use avocado oil, but olive oil or avocado oil into the bowl and then let it sit for 30 minutes before your next stretch and fold. I'm not gonna do that. So what I'm gonna do is just get my processing cap, a shower cap essentially. Shower cap, processing cap that you guys are all aware of. I'm gonna take and place that over the bowl. I'm just gonna let her chill on the counter for 30 minutes. But before we continue, I wanna talk about these. And they're like these little nets that you can buy on Amazon. And these nets are really great to go over your strainers. Strainer inside of the sink. And what that will do is capture all this. You see that? because what this is going to do is turn into a plaster in your pipes, and then your husbands will not be happy. So you can buy like a pack of 500 for, I think it was like $7. And then I bought a pack of 200 of these, and that's all I use. So I will come back in about 30 minutes. Now we're going to feed Fonda. This is a not dirty, but I've used her for the week. So I'm going to transfer her after I feed her into my other jar. So probably once a week, I take all of the excess product that's in here, put it in a new jar, rinse and wash this one, dry it completely, making sure I use my net so that I have a fresh jar. It's best if you can see your sourdough. Mine is actually living right about here right now. So you'll notice I have quite a bit, but I'm looking to make cinnamon rolls while we have that few days off coming up. Okay. Panic. I'm just going to feed her. So essentially, if you look at this, if we're talking in ratio, I have quite a bit of sourdough starter, right? Some people might call this discard, but it's not if I'm going to continue to bake. I just want to feed her so that she's happy. Let me show you what she's looking like inside. So you'll notice there's some bubbles and different things that are happening in there. So I want to have less flour and less water than what I'm feeding. Some people think they have to go equal parts starter, water, flour. That's when it gets runny. So I'm just gonna take this, it is a 1/4 cup, and I'm just gonna put 3 in. This is how I always do it. Notice they're not level. I'm just going 3 of these, 1, 2, and 3. Flour's done. Push it to the side. And then I'm gonna take my water, another bottle of water, and I'm going to put about that much in. You see where it's right at the line? Go in here and start mixing her in. I want to get that flour all the way down deep. I'm kind of going in an up and down motion versus a stirring motion, turning it around. So you're going to notice it starts looking kind of gooey, right? But I'm just going to keep doing that. Okay, here we go. Now that's enough. You see how thicky that is? Now watch. When I slide it off of the fork, I want it to be able to just pop right off of my finger. See that? And then I know that she has been fed properly. I'm gonna get myself a new coffee filter. It keeps everything out, but it also allows her to breathe. So now what's gonna happen, now she's at about right here, so just a little higher. She's gonna grow. She might even pop this off and grow so much depending on the temperature in your home. If you have a colder home, she won't as much, but if you have a warmer home, she's gonna grow. So in the summer months, we're gonna have that happen. Once it grows, after it's done growing, we call that the active stage. She's not ready. Let her drop down. When she drops down, she's ready to make bread.
A few moments later.
Okay, we're back. I went ahead and washed my hands and I kept them damp, which helps. So you're gonna see that the dough is just doughing. I'm gonna pick one side of the dough up, just kind of doing this to get my fingers underneath. And I'm gonna stretch it and I'm gonna shake it. That's helping with gluten production. And I'm gonna fold to the center. I'm gonna do a 1/4 of a turn, do the same things as much as you want, and fold. And a 1/4 of a turn. Now I'm gonna do this 3rd side. I'm gonna grab it. It's gonna start getting a little like firmer as I do this. So here I go. Fold to center, turn. I only do 1 stretch and fold. Some people will do it every 30 minutes and do 4 stretch and folds. That's completely up to you. I used to do that, but I want to work less. Like today or this evening, and I'll come back and show you, is a garlic rosemary. But for now, and for 6-8 hours, what time is it right now? It is almost 10 a.m. So probably by 4 or 5, maybe even 6 o'clock tonight, she will double or triple in size. It's nice and warm today. She should rise beautifully. Just gonna pop her to the side. I'm gonna chop up some rosemary and garlic cloves. I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Because then I put them in a baggie, pop them in the fridge, and then tomorrow morning when I bake, then I will show you what that result looks like too. Okay. Okay, everyone. House is clean. about 7 at night. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab rosemary, and I like to take 2 stalks of it. I'm gonna pull that off, go straight down. So I thought I'd show you just a few things because you guys said to do everything. So here I am doing everything. Chop all this up real fine.
You can do so many different things though, like you can do lemon ricotta, we tried, I didn't love it. You can do chocolate chip, you can do cinnamon and sugar, just anything that you can think of.
Boysenberry. That's a joke for Carly.
Yeah, so boysenberry, make it nice and fine so that you get a little bite of garlic and rosemary in every single bite. A couple of things to consider if you don't have already a bread basket. You don't have to have any of these things. You don't have to have the Dutch oven. You don't have to have the bread basket. It's just things that I've purchased along the way because I feel that it makes my job easier. Now you can put your bread in a variety of locations. I like to keep mine on the counter, and I bought a bread bag that is lined in beeswax, which I'll show you in just a minute so that you can have a visual. But now that it's nice and fine and chopped, I'm gonna stick that off to the side because now it's time to make bread. Go ahead and take a little bit of flour, and I'm gonna dust the counter. Just gonna put that everywhere. Take that bowl that I did this morning, and it's been about 8 hours. It's been a pretty warm day. So there's my bread that I only stretched and folded one time. I'm just gonna pull it out, and she'll drop, and she'll flop. What I like to do is just take it and flip it, kind of squish her down a little bit, flip her one more time so she's got flour on both sides, and then I use my hands, put flour on it, and just do that. Now I'm gonna stretch her out. This doesn't have to be beautiful. Fat rectangle, I guess. Just notice that there's like bubbles in the bread. There's little bubbles, that's good. She might fart a little, it's okay. So I like to just sprinkle that garlic and rosemary combined all on the inside. So now I'm gonna take one side and I'm gonna fold it to the middle. Then I'm gonna take the other side and fold it to the middle, just like that. So now I have this long thing. Rosemary and garlic, and kind of line it up down the middle like that. Pushing your product in, whatever that product may be, is gonna help it to stick better. Feel like you'll need a little bit more flour on your countertop because you're worried that it's gonna stick, just dust a little bit more. So I start at one end and I just roll her up into a ball to the end like that. So now I have this. This is the important part. You're gonna notice how it looks like a great big burrito, right? Grab that and tuck it in and pull towards you. And do that on all 4 sides. Just grabbing it and tucking it. Oops, she farted. She's good to go. Bread basket. And probably about every 3 loaves, just take a little bit of flour and I dust it on the inside so it doesn't stick to that bread basket. And then I kind of zhuzh it all around, whatever's left over, just kind of pop it onto my counter. Take it, I'm gonna flip it upside down right into the basket. So just like that. Same shower cap. I'm gonna place it right over the top and I'll stick her in the fridge. I'm gonna bake her at 475 in my Dutch oven, covered with a silicone mat inside. Before I had a silicone mat, I just used parchment paper. So if you don't have a silicone mat, don't worry. Just look on the back. You want it to be able to exceed 450 degrees. And it actually tells you that on the back of the parchment paper. So she's gonna go ahead and go into the refrigerator and I will score and bake her tomorrow. This is a scoring tool that I got. It is very sharp. You cannot put your finger at the end.
Melly.
Cut yourself. That was a joke for you. But I'll show you how to score in the morning before we actually bake her. I'm gonna go ahead and take Fonda and I'm gonna transfer her into her new jar. Look how thick she is. We want it nice and thick. Switching your jar and you wanna make a whole nother one for someone else, you could scrape the bottom of that jar, feed it, and then give it away. Now Fonda's ready to go. I made bread. I fed her. There's probably like this much more that's in here. It smells really sour, which is a good thing. Now, the other thing I wanted to discuss with you guys is if you run out of bread flour and you want to start using all-purpose flour, that's okay. It's just gonna take her a few days to get used to the all-purpose flour, but it works just as good and you get just as good of bread. Just feed her for 3 or 4 days, and then I would begin making bread. Just cover her up and just put her on the counter.
Tomorrow.
Okay, she's all chilled from overnight. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. It's gonna be a little bit damp. That's okay. We like it. Now here's my Dutch oven. Let me show you. I just got the Loge Dutch oven. I think at Walmart for like 50 bucks. And inside, I like to put silicone mat. But you don't have to use a silicone mat. You can actually use parchment paper like we talked about earlier in the video. It's just gonna have a little flour on top. That's great. I can go ahead and just set her on my counter. So it's kind of rounded. Okay, so let me show you how I do this. Real deep. One on the outside. And we want it to be able to open up. Bring it one. And I like to do another one on the other side. So see how the curve is coming in? 1, 2, 3. Kind of looks like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and pop that right in the center of my Dutch oven. Now there's a lot of videos out there that talk about, you know, heating your Dutch oven first, which you can try. I haven't. And I just put the lid on and I'm gonna bake her for 45 minutes with the lid on. And then I'm gonna take the lid off. Now my oven tends to run a little hot. I like to do it for about 8 minutes uncovered. And then really quick, I wanted to show you guys my beeswax bread bags, which are super cool because they have like this little clip. So it's not completely sealed from air. So what I like to do is I like to kind of fold it in, lock in the air, and then pop it closed like that. I'm gonna bake her again 45 minutes at 475, and I will show you what it looks like when I take the lid off and what it looks like when it's all done. Beautiful. Anyway, I hope this helps. Happy Sunday.
If the